Welcome back to Rolling Solo and part 4 of our dungeon dive into Masmorra with Luke, the Lucky, currently sitting with a goblin and a very surrounded Algus. And at the end of the last turn, if I remember correctly, we had spawned the gargoyle and that had sat there, and it was the end of Luke's turn. Luke currently has 3 coins, 3 leveled up abilities, and he also has a handful of cards, or alliance cards, treasure cards, sorry. 5 of them of which to pick from that we can use. But the player we're going to be focusing on right now is Algus. So we're going to go ahead and take the dice from Luke and move this over. Algus has only 1 ability unlocked, and he's at 5 health, and he has these abilities at the moment. So he's got Taunt, he's got Dazzle, and he's got Parry, along with some abilities on the bottom as well. So we're going to go ahead and start off the round. Algus is definitely lagging behind Luke in terms of the XP counter, but we're going to go ahead and pull the first evil card to see what we run into. And we get Tough Healing. Any player must pay 1 gold for each wound the active hero heals this turn. Okay, well, so if he wants to heal himself, this is a bad time to do it. That's essentially what the sum of that card is. And Algus, though, he's actually got 5 health, so we could attempt to just avoid healing altogether just to avoid that card. Now, Algus is currently in the dungeon, and he's currently generally surrounded here. He's got two enemies he has to deal with, and I've already pulled the reference cards out for them. We got a spider, which we fought before, and it's got a web ability which allows them just simply not allowed to leave the room or the tile that they're currently in. And then for the other monster, it's a demon pitcher, I believe, and it is a spend 1, at the start of combat, spend movement symbol or take a wound. So we're going to go ahead and roll Luke's, Algus, and he doesn't get this dice. I don't want to make that mistake. That comes from the Watch It Played ability. So we're going to go ahead and roll these dice, and we're also going to take this dock dice from before with Luke. And Algus is going to begin his turn in the fighting stage. And we actually did manage to get ourselves a movement. That's great. So we also got we got a bow. It's never a bad thing. And in terms of the 2 guys we're fighting, and we get to choose which order we want to go after these 2, but in the end we really have to fight both of them. We're going to need to generate 7 damage. Now 7 damage seems kind of high, and it is. So what we could do in order to make things easier is, what could we do here? Well, let's start with re-rolling what we need to. So I'm going to keep 1 shield just on the off chance that we can use Algus's ability here that allows him to generate a shield and 2 swords. So I'll keep one shield to the side along with a bow. And then in terms of these things, I'm going to keep 1 step die, because we know that the demon pitcher is going to go ahead and throw a wound on him if he doesn't have it, and we'll just re-roll the other. So we got ourselves another step, another range, that's good, and a magic, which is also good. So we can actually go ahead and generate quite a bit here of potential damage, which actually isn't a terrible thing. So we didn't get the sword we were looking for. So now in my mind the shield's a little bit less useful. But now that I also look at these other abilities, and we've got ourselves some shields to block some damage. So let's kind of go about this one at a time. Let's go ahead and take out the demon pitcher first, as he's got the least amount of defense. See if we can clean him out of the room first. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, he needs 3 to be taken out. And what we could do is, how about this? We're going to go ahead and we're going to use 2 of the bows. We're going to dock both of them. And then we're going to use the shield. And we're going to dock it up in his arcane shield ability, which is going to give him 2 shields and a sword. So that generates him a total of 3 attack, but being a little mix of melee and ranged. It's enough to kill the demon pitcher, but it is not enough to prevent the payback reaction that's coming back at him. So he is going to die. We are able to kill him. We will gain the experience for him, but he's going to hit us back for 1. Now we look at our abilities that we generate, and the arcane shield generates 2 shields. So we've gone ahead and we've actually blocked that attack, and we still technically have 1 shield like left. So that's a plus. So we'll take him away before, and then in a second here we'll resolve the XP and the alliance card that he gains from him, and now we'll deal with the spider. So the spider needs 4 in order to kill. And we've got a little issue here with not having the correct amount of melee or ranged attacks to use, but I did forget to take away the step die that the demon pitcher was going to penalize me for. So let's see, what can we do here? We got some cards that we could potentially use, especially this one where we can drop some defense, but is this the monster we want to spend something like that on? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm debating. Makes it very, very tough. We know we can't generate enough here to actually hurt him. So we're going to probably have to go down the road of shielding ourselves from the damage we're going to take. So what we're going to do is we know we have 1 shield. So we're just going to not attack to kill this spider. Although the downside of that is I'm going to take 2 hits, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the shields up ability card, and we're going to play it, which is going to give him, well, he actually had 1 left over, but now he's got 2 technically based on that shields up ability, and when you add it together it's 3, which is way more than enough to block the spider's attack. So we've handled the spider but not killed him. He stays in the room. But now, if I wanted Algus to leave the room, I could actually get him to start moving. The reason why I didn't really want to focus on killing the spider is because if I sit still on the next turn, this gargoyle is going to move from here, and he's going to move right into the same spot. And I think Algus will eventually get bottlenecked unless Luke comes by and helps him. So for now, let's just play it like that. So we can go ahead now and resolve the fact that we killed the demon pitcher. So the demon pitcher generates 2 XP, and that's actually going to jump Algus up to the 3rd row, and it's going to put him in, I guess, at 8 XP. So that's not bad, actually. And Algus now is going to be able to bump up an ability as well as take a treasure card. So we can either go with magic and coins for transmutation, or we can go with the Wizard's Apprentice, which you gain the extra action die for this turn. You can trigger the ability at any time during your turn. So he can pay money to get himself an extra dice. That's pretty useful. But you know what? In this game, I kind of want to go towards the road of getting more money for treasure cards. So let's go with that for now. So now we're going to go back here. We're going to grab his Lion's treasure card that he's gained, and he's gained himself a greater heal. Not something you want to use right now because of the tough healing evil card sitting out at the moment. So what do we do next? That is a good question. Well, we've technically handled this guy completely, so we can throw him back into this bag, and he's no longer is on the board. And we're going to go ahead, and do I risk it or do I not risk it? Do I run into the next room or do I sit still? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cash both of these in. I've changed my mind. The gargoyle doesn't seem as strong. He's only a 2/2. So I'm just going to cash those 2 in, which is going to give me 2 more coins. So I'm going to take 2 more coins, giving him a total of 5 coins. He's going to go ahead and cash the 5 coins in. And that allows him to take another treasure card. So now we're really getting ready. And look at this. We've got the ability to place your hero in a room with another hero. So maybe that can come in handy to save him from how many monsters are possibly going to be surrounding him here on the next turn. So now what we do, that we've finished off that turn and we've collected all the bounties and everything, we're going to go ahead and move the monsters. The only movable monster is the gargoyle. It's going to move into the room with Algus. We're going to go into the bag and go far into the back so I don't know where it is. And we got ourselves a goblin, and he's going to show up right there. So we got ourselves a goblin character chasing after us, and there's actually nothing else to spawn in the dungeon. And so at this point, we're done his turn. So what we'll do is we'll move the counter up 1. We're going to discard the evil card, And we're going to take back the dice from Algus as we're going to move towards using Luke. So we're going to grab Luke's extra dice that he gets for the Watch It Plate ability. And Luke is ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead and pull our evil card. And we got ourselves a monster ambush. Any player must pay 3 gold or a major monster immediately spawns in the same room as the active hero. And you know what, at the end of the day, we really, like, Luke doesn't need any more trouble in that room. So the question is, can I cancel it? Yeah. I could use sleep spell. So I'm going to go ahead and use sleep spell. And I'm going to cash that in. That's going, then, and just so you guys can see it actually, it essentially says choose one room, ignore the dungeon master phase in that room this turn. So in other words, that's not going to occur and there won't be any major monster showing up in this room here with Luke. So now we can go right ahead, and Luke can't step right away because he does have to deal with the monster in his room. And but he's gonna, I think the plan is to kind of head up towards Algus and help him out a bit. So here is the roll for Luke, and it's looking pretty good if you're talking about healing. Although Luke only needs 1 point of healing, so maybe we'll keep 1. We'll definitely keep the bow. We'll definitely keep the magic and a shield. But the rest, I think we can just re-roll. There you go. That's a much better roll for him. So look at the amount of options we've got here. So if you're talking about a goblin, the goblin's ability is a quick stab. He's going to perform his attack even if he's killed by ranged attack. So you know what, before we even resolve our attack against him, because we know we're going to fight him, he's going to hit us for 1. I'm just going to take the damage. You know, you'd normally do this at the end, but we're just going to say that he's going to hit us because we know at the end of the day he's going to do his quick stab. So we need to generate 2 attack in order to kill the goblin, and Luke can easily do this, even with just something as simple as his basic action there. But he's actually rolled 2 ranged weapons, so why not use the 2 bows to make it a quick kill with no damage being taken back to Luke. So we're going to dock both those dice, which allows Luke to kill the goblin, and the goblin is now dead. So Luke is now going to tick up to the purple level, and he only gets 1 XP. Because of his, he's past that -1 XP mark. And the track, he's way down here at 17. So this monster's now dead, and Luke gains a treasure card. And he gets a greater heal ability. Well, that's pretty handy. So, now what we're going to do is take this goblin, fire it back in the bag, and Luke is free to move. Now, Luke does have a free move token, so we're going to flip his free move token, which is going to allow us to put the revealed 2nd level staircase, which we found lurking behind this medium-sized room in the back here. And you know what? He gets a free move into it. And part of the way the rules work with these levels, or room levels, is once you move into a staircase, you actually are able to move to the next staircase for free. So at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and move to the 2nd level because Luke is very curious about what is down these steps. So he's going down into the dungeon to see what he's going to run into. And we have to immediately reveal the top tile, which is a trap. And Luke is going to take an immediate hit from the trap tile. And that is going to dock him down 1 more heart lower on his player board. Now, Luke has these dice left. Now, if I remember correctly, and I really hope I do, I think when you're on the 2nd level and you disarm a trap, I believe you get 3 XP. Now, in most cases, you'd want to... Oh, and actually, one other thing I'm going to do, because I forgot about this, is Luke had moved into the last row of the track on his turn, so essentially, he actually gets to bump up his final ability, and at this point in time, Luke is totally powered up. And that ability is Beginner's Luck. Discard a treasure card and you cancel all the wounds you take in the room. So he's totally powered up. And at this point in time, the way the Alliance game kind of works is once you get to a certain point where you have all of your abilities like Luke does, you don't really need to track XP anymore, because at this point, it's just a full-on straight dash to try to take out Malefice, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. So I'm just going to stop tracking Luke's XP, I think. Maybe we will just for fun, but I'm debating it because it's just one less thing to have to track. But in the alliance mode, you can kind of be free of that. And really what matters is once the two players have reached this last row, that's kind of where they sit, and they can't go any further back. So they're always going to have their abilities. The one that really matters is the white counter for how many rounds we've gone through. So essentially, Luke has now jumped down to the second level. He's going to go ahead, actually, in order to take out that trap and gain 3 experience, which is shown on the tile. He could dock 2 dice in order to do that. But again, gaining experience is kind of a waste of dice in this particular setup. It'd actually be more productive for him to use a magic, put it over here and dock it. And what he's going to do is he's going to change this to a step token, and he's going to now use this step token to reveal the next tile, which I should have done anyway. Now, before I even move into the next room, because I did this wrong, I'm going to correct myself, put this one back to spend a second. I should have revealed this tile, and I constantly forget that. So Luke's actually going to take a wound, and this card's going to go away. And as you can see, Luke's health is going down quite quickly. So we're going to go ahead and take that tile. We're going to throw it away. We're going to go over here and reveal the next one, and it is a gigantic pit. It's like the last thing he needs to see right now, because now this is where things get interesting, where I had made kind of a mess up here with what I'd done. I had gone ahead and docked my dice, this magic one, to change this from a shield to a step. So I'm going to put this back to a shield. And the reason why is because when you go into a pit room, I would have to spend a movement just to move into the pit room, and then spend another movement to avoid taking a wound from Luke. And Luke is dangerously close to death. So we don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to... yikes, I run into a little bit of a problem here. So you know what, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this card here. Hey, you know what? Let's not worry about it. Let's just run in full tilt. Let's use the magic. Change my mind. Let's flip this to a step token, or a step die. We're going to dock that die. Luke's going to run in fearlessly into the pit, of which he cannot pay that step penalty. So he is going to take another hit for falling in the hole. Now Luke's going to go ahead and he's going to use this card called Divine Heal, and play on your turn. Fully heal a hero in your room or an adjacent room. So he's going to use this powerful card to actually jump his healing all the way up to 6, or his HP all the way back, hit points all the way back up to 6. And he is rolling pretty good now. So now the thing is, Luke only has a potion, a shield, and a sword left. He's kind of looking for something else to do. So maybe what we'll do is we'll stop running like a crazy person, and we'll just dock these 3 dice. We'll just dock the dice, or I should say cash in. We're going to cash in those 3 dice, and he's going to take 3 coins for the dice he didn't use. So 3 coins, but he's going to spend 5 in order to gain himself back a treasure card. He got himself sprint, so that'll come in handy later. So that's kind of where we're going to stop, but what we'll do first is we're going to go ahead and do a little a movement phase here to see if we have anything to do. And at this point in time, we've got 2 minor monsters in that room. And if I'm correct, I believe that this goblin would move into this room as well, because I think the most you can have in a room is 3. And I think that is, what I'll do is I'll double check that when I close off the video here. But what we will do is we're going to move this round marker down to 9. We're going to discard this evil card, and we're going to prepare for Algus. And in the next video, it's either going to be 2 monsters or 3. I just have to double check that. But either way, he's up for quite a fight. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, I hope you've enjoyed this part 4 video, and there will be another as we dive deeper into level 2 with Luke the Lucky. Until next time, keep rolling solo.